What's up, Fox? Them fucks her. I'm sick, which is great. Super happy about that. I watched the E-Day presentation because, of course, I did. I wouldn't be me if I didn't. I actually watched it twice and loved every second of it. I am super hopeful for what E-Day is going to bring. And I was feeling nostalgic. And, you know, it's weird to think that Gears of War 4 came out 10 years ago, and when Gears of War 4 came out, that was 10 years after Gears of War 1 came out. The 20th anniversary, it makes me feel so decrepit and old and sad. And, you know, I think that one of the things that really defined my channel when I was starting out was Gears of War 4. I had a lot of opinions about it, and at the same time, you know, I wrote hypocrite on the top of my forehead because this is the game that I have easily sunk the most multiplayer hours into out of any game. And it is what I'm really excited for the new movement system in E-Day. But I think the common sentiment, right, is that Gears 4 is kind of the best classic Gears feel, aside from the fact that there's like core and competitive tuning and all that. But I think they're going to try and expand the weapon sandbox beyond just power weapons, and if you don't have a power weapon, use the Nosher all the time. It seems like there's a Lancer LMG. It seems like there is like crowd control weapons, like the grenade launcher and stuff. So seeing how those interact with games like King of the Hill could be really interesting. But at the same time, I've softened up over the years. You know, I'm like old man Marcus now. Back in the day, I used to think that Nosher only meta was the only right way to play Gears of War, and I'm hoping now that that isn't necessarily the case. With that said, the Lancer has always been in such a tough predicament as a weapon, because if you make it too powerful, then you lose the core identity of Gears, which is the Nosher, right? But if you make it too weak, like a crowd control sort of weapon, then it becomes useless, and it also is supposed to be the gun that, you know, it's the most iconic weapon in the franchise. So I don't know how they're gonna do it. And I also wanted to talk a little bit about what I said in the Gears of War Judgment video that I uploaded. I still plan on playing that fully, so we're on part 1 right now, and we're probably going to just finish that game because it's not a long game. But with that said, they completely subverted expectations with the Lancer. I was really not looking forward to the fact that they were going to add the Lancer Mark II, but they are still, they're obviously changing the canon, right? Like, this is E-Day, and the Lancer is already becoming a prototype, which did not happen in the books, but it's a beautiful homage because they still have the awesome tie scene that kind of defines him as the inventor of the Lancer. The Proto-Lancer is honestly probably the best way they could have integrated a Mark II Lancer into the game, because it still is going to be, I mean, it's literally like a retro Lancer with a chainsaw slapped on, which is pretty fucking cool, I'm not gonna lie. Of course, with better recoil, it seems like, as well. So they definitely did a good job of being respectful to the canon, while also establishing a new canon as well. This seems like a soft reboot for the canon of the franchise. Of course, any fans of Karen Travis know that she's probably like crying right now because she really hates it when people retcon her books. She got shafted with Star Wars, but I think that Gears is doing it in a much more respectful way than just decanonizing all the books and not bringing any of the source material that she had written and poured her heart into. So, you know, I think this is the best way they could have done it. Gears would very not be the same if the Lancer was not present, the Mark II. So I get it. And I'm really excited to see what new enemy types there are. The boomers are fucking awesome. I'm just gonna say that straight up. First of all, the fact that you can chainsaw a boomer, holy shit. That looked cool as hell. Sawing his thick ass head off. But also, they fixed one of the biggest inconsistencies in the franchise is when the boomers drop the boom shot, it shrinks to human size. And now it's a heavy weapon instead, so it's gonna maintain a consistent size throughout. Genius play. I never would have actually thought of that, so, you know. And, seeing Carlos, you know, like I haven't read all the comics. I'm sure there are comics with Carlos as a mainstay, but my relationship with Carlos has always been through the books. And to have him visualized like that, it's not how I visualized him, to be honest, but it's way better than how I visualized him, because he looks so much like Dom. It's such a beautiful little thing. And the wretches without their backplate armor and stuff, that looks fucking cool as hell. The aesthetic is exactly what I wanted. You've got fully ray traced lighting, and it looks beautiful, but it isn't like Gears 4 and 5 where it's like, well, everything's green now. We love green. Screw that. You guys really didn't like the piss filter. There's something about the piss filter in Gears that works, right? It's supposed to be, this is Zack Snyder's E-Day, you know? It's like, they did a great job of finding that balance, at least from the gameplay that I've seen. 12-player Horde mode, honestly, pretty freaking sweet. I don't play Horde that often. It's never my game of choice. But I can imagine how fun that would be, getting a squad of 12 people to just fucking go ham on some locusts. I'm curious who the main enemy is going to be. People are saying that there might not be a main enemy, which I get, right? Like, Mira is obviously very present, and she is going to be in it. If you have any doubts that Mira is going to be in it, you know, she may not make a physical appearance. However, she is most certainly going to be in the background, controlling everything. Anya, I mean, you know, there's no guarantee until the IMDb stuff comes out, but I can pretty much say with a guarantee that she's gonna be back, right? Because Helena Stroud died in the Pendulum Wars and she took her place, so that'll be really fun to watch as well. Ty's back, and, you know, Ty's voice has to grow on me a little bit more. His new voice actor definitely is not the Ty that I remember. And that's okay, right? It's been 20 years. Clearly, unfortunately, Baird also is not going to be present nigh at all, unless they do like a DLC or something, because the voice actor for Ty is also the voice actor for Baird, so if they didn't get Baird to do Ty again, then he just may not be a part of this project, which is sad because Bear's my favorite character. But, you know, it's Marcus and Dom's story, along with these new characters that, you know, I think people are too quick to dismiss. First of all, the whole wokeism bullshit going on in the subreddit, you need to knock that fucking shit off. Gears of War has always been woke. I mean, Jesus Christ. That's the reason why it's so popular in Mexico, is because they had a Mexican lead character that wasn't a stereotype. Like, come on now. So just fucking take a chill pill. The female character models look fine. It's like they're supposed to look like soldiers and not sex appeal bots, right? So sorry that they didn't do Zenless Zone Zero fucking ass jiggle physics for a Gears of War model, but you're fucking stupid if you expected them to do that. We're getting our ass kicked, and I'm not doing great either. I used to be so good at this game. I used to play professionally. Like, what the fuck happened to me? Okay. And by professionally, I mean, like, really cool stuff. I was definitely in Gears Esports where they... No, I used to compete for Microsoft gift cards at the Windows Store. but, you know. God, Marcus looks so much better. People are looking back at the original E-Day trailer. It's clear that they didn't have the characters finalized. Dom looks a lot better as well. They don't look like they're 40 years old anymore, which is great. They both look really young, which they're supposed to look really young on E-Day. They are both either early 20s. I think Dom might even be 19. I don't remember off the top of my head. But that's why Marcus and Carlos were much closer, because they were similar in age. You know, they went to the same school, all that fun stuff. And I'm interested to see how that develops, because we always see, you know, like, from the get-go in years 1, Dom and Marcus are extremely close. I mean, Dom sticks his neck out on the line and breaks Marcus out of prison, which everybody universally agrees, right, was a good idea. Hoffman even is like, yeah, that was really dumb to just let him die in there. But E-Day, you know, I think it's before Marcus earns his Embry Star. I think he earns his Embry Star later on in the game, or in the franchise. But, you know, he's still a battle-hardened veteran, with the Pendulum Wars just coming to an end. Dom is, of course, I'm interested to see what they do with Dom's story, right? Because he was a commando on the siege of the Pendulum Wars, which essentially ended the war, right? Was Asphalt Fields. Wow, I do not remember how to use these guns at all. They play so different than in Gears 5. But I mean, it's so exciting to see this sort of, like, it seems like everybody on the Coalition woke up and decided, okay, we're gonna make a good game now. And it's funny to watch Halo Studios falling into the same pitfalls, because Xbox is they are a master of shooting themselves in the foot. And, you know, I'm hopeful that the new CEO is going to change things around. Obviously, there was a whole controversy about Gears of War being pulled from PlayStation literally the day of the announcement. But if they want to do console exclusivity, that's not what I care about. Console exclusivity to me is stupid. I think everybody should agree on that. But if PlayStation's not going to do it, there's an argument to say that Xbox shouldn't do it either. All that fun stuff. However, the thing that I'm more concerned about, that I'm hoping the new CEO shows up, is like Halo Combat Evolved, or Campaign Evolved, is doing the same thing that Gears Reloaded did, but worse. With no multiplayer, which at least Reloaded had a multiplayer. So I'm hoping that they break this trend of like remastering a remaster of a remaster, and they focus on making new creative games. Something that, if you watch the Summer Games Showcase, not the Xbox one, but the general one, with everybody's favorite host, he said something that really resonated with me, which is like, games aren't supposed to be for everyone, right? So like, I recognize that Gears of War isn't for everyone, and that's what makes it so beautiful, right? Is you have a community. And, you know, you don't have to appeal to the widest demographic to squeeze as many pennies as possible. Because if you have a dedicated fan base, that's what matters, right? Like, Gears of War 3 sold so many copies because everybody wanted to see the conclusion from the original game. Also, I suck.
Marcus, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do, man.